Hello, Seekers! Welcome to your Curious Radio. Join us to discover the most dangerous and extravagant sects in your history. According to research, the sects are governed by 4 points: behavior control,
control information,
thought control,
emotion control, the temp of the people was a religion group founded in the
15th.
Let's be a striking character, Jim Jones.
This leader's speech is already such appeal that is fascinating to potential followers. This path drew a path of loyalty and in idolatry and ending in fanatism. In 1975, the People's Temple Sects decided to move to California, to a remote place in Guyana, in northwestern South America, to avoid harassment by the USA government.
Installed in the middle of the South American jungle, the leader of the sect, Jim Jones, created the architectural project of the Temple of the People, known by the informal name of Jonestown. The popularity of the Jones grew enormous and went for having
15 members
in
1977.
to having more than
900 members.
in the its heyday in
1978. Many of the members of the People's Temple believed that in Guyana would be has a promise, John's promise, them a paradise, even saying to hell. A socialist paradise had John described in many of the audios that we found in the place after the tragedy.
Instead, all members, including children, ended up raising animals and food for the People's Temple Cultural Project 6 days a week from 7 in the morning until 6 in the evening. In February
1978.
half of the community suffered from medical problems such as severe diarrhea and high fever.
The members who tried to escape from the prison were shot to the point of incapacitation, and there were armed cars patrolling day and night to make sure John's orders were followed. John defended before his followers that death is only the transition to another level, and this is not a suicide, but is a revolutionary act. They had even come to test the supposed collective suicide in what Jones called White Nights. In October 1978, the allegation of abuse in Johnson's research 2 years to representative of the House for the state of California, Leo Raymond.
A month later, they received the visit of the American Temple, accompanied by journalists in order to investigate the Youngstown community. It is believed that this visit was the trigger of Jones to make the decision that it was time to die.
The season was carried out with a few Jews during McLeod silence. Discovered the benefits of being part of community, you made out like ghost historical character. More than 900 deaths. In subsequent investigation, it was found that members of the sect who died, who did not want to commit suicide, were killed by gunfire, like the American deputy and the journalist who accompanied him.
The terrifying balance was
913 deaths,
among with
277 children
were found. The greatest called suicide in history was described by the media and covered the tragedy. The leader of the Sects, Jim Jones, was found dead of a shot in the head. Tan found the other two bodies. Jones' death was caused by a bullet wound in the head. That is not known if it was inflicted by himself or in the forced another person to kill him.
Do you know what about sects and groups? Okay, Satanic sects. The Satanic groups are sects are too diverse and the vast majority unknown. In other cases, appear and disappear sometimes simply were so hidden that not even Satanists of other sects know them. The place where we find the largest number of sects at work openly is in the United States. Among the most known groups that are currently active we find Church Satanic,
Temple Set,
Order of the Black Bird,
Werewolf Order.
Worldwide Church of Satanic Liberation.
We also find others that apparently have disappeared as they are Church of Satanic Brotherhood,
Brotherhood of the Ram,
the Satanic Church, and among others. One of the groups that had some notoriety is the Process Church of the Final Judgment. That emerged in 1965 in English and was spread in different countries, especially in United States. In English have been highlighted other satanic organizations such as Order in the Night Angels and the Dark Lily. In Italy, there has been this great proliferation of the sects. Wherein the satanic practice rituals are performed during which a series of histories and words are used. The children of the realization of this is very relative science if it is to be used against some in adversely to do it at night, in a period in which the person is asleep, preferably 2 hours before waking up. In some rites, the members come to perform necrophilia or sexual relation with corpses, physical violence on minors, and even ritual homicide.
The main rite of any satanic group are the blood masses, in which we know the settlement of the oldest masses of this gender are the inclination towards the writings of the French poet Charles Baudelaire, although there are many that deviate from these two topics. Inside the black mass, we find a deacon and a subdeacon, and among the elements used there are candles, inverted crucifix, a chalice full of wine or liquor, a bell, a sword, and a consecrated host relic, etc. The altar of these masses is a naked woman, and the rite is very similar to that used by the Catholic religion. But in this, the name of their god Satan is exalted. They make prayers in different languages, like Latin, French, and English, extolling the devil.
Each element used in any religious ceremony is also used in the Satanic ritual. The different begin that each to the deeds are taken in a positive way, ridiculing their original meaning. One of these main prayers is
Salve Satanás, salve Satanás, salve Satanás, in nomine die nostri Satanás Luciferi excelsit, potentum tom mondi de inferno, et non potes Lucifer imperor rex maximus, luz ponticius glorificamus, et in modus corporum adoramus te, Satan omnipotens in nostri mondi, Domini agimas Iesus Nazareno, rex ienodorum. In nostri terra santa imperum. Invita Luciferum minus fordibus, obscenum corporis Dei nostri Satana protem. Reinus glorius in terra elegius, Luciferi imperator omnipotens, salve Satanás, salve Satanás, salve Satanás. On the other hand, the host is desecrated on several occasions, using it for sexual practices and trap cleaning. Despite what is so, there are many worshippers of Satan, who see it as a symbolic image, some kind of product of rationalism. The aim of any satanic group is to free itself from cultural or social precepts in which moral or ethical values are considered. Some Satanists claim that this is a totally canon religion, and they say that happiness is here on earth, there is no heaven, but neither a hell of fire, of the punishment. There are others for whom the question is deeper, where Satan is a true god who can only be addressed through magical rites, and this being is totally opposed to the Judeo-Christian tradition, being this negative and that of Satan positive.
one of the main authors of this genre is LaVey, who has raised in one of these books that evil is a vital and impersonal force that has been the product of a cult. Although this theory is yet ambiguous, science in others poses Satan as a personal being. Among the Satanists, there is a great contradiction with the Church of Satan, since they have an excessive opposition to the Christian Church. The Gospel and the liturgy of the Satanists pose that if they do not believe in this, they will to not be able to believe in Satan and oblivious. There is no sense of his belief. The ages wide to approach of Satanic environment is through the cult and spiritual practice, in which the invocation of extraterrestrial beings is performed, which in most cases end up being demons. The magicians who offer help through black magic has a great connection with Satanic groups, or relates the lady to the deeds. There are many possible reasons for linking two Satanic groups, among these the conviction to obtain material gains, eccentricity, or some kind of morbid inclination for the tenebrous, violent reaction to the traumas of childhood, want to have supernal powers, and finally the sexual desviations and taking as a base for the something dark and cool.
Another important sect is religions, that is important sect of the world.
The Religions, which is based in Canada and with adherents in
84
countries, among them Peru, which assure that human beings are the fruit of a biological experiment carried out by beings four of the worlds, a truth that they claim was revealed by the extraterrestrials descended to Claude Boreal, known by these followers as Real the Messenger, in
1973.
a crowd got to the railings in December
13, 1873.
Claude Bouillon, born in
1846.
French nationality, was in this day a sport journalist who became kidnapped by the aliens and driven on a flying saucer to a unified planet where the truth about humanity was revealed to him. Real the Messenger was the founder of the Sects that year in the colonial company in
1997.
which claims to have cloned a human being. The scientifically advanced extraterrestrial begins, known as the Elohim, create life on Earth through genetic engineering. According to Rayleigh doctrine, a combination of human cloning and mental transfer called ultimate probably humans, which the gift of immortality.
Some religions value are
To love oneself is to accept oneself as one in order to eliminate or complex.
respect for oneself,
This respect requires a healthy life obtained by being in harmony with nature. The practice of meditation, relaxation, and the adaptation of a healthy diet. Drugs, tobacco, alcohol should be avoided.
responsibility,
Every human being is the master of this destiny. His success as well in the failures. He is always responsible for this addiction, even if they obey another.
world peace,
The creation of a world government supported by a global army of
peacekeepers,
of the interplanet will eliminate the national armies and devote their military bodies to the fight against hunger in the world, save the planet and maintain universal peace.
femininity,
Femininity is love. It is important to feminists to the earth. To be aware the women is on par with femininity.
courtesy is a code of respect for femininity. This is the best search. Create new ways to show respect and courtesy. Matrela Royal. The meaning of the symbol.
The Star of David represents infinity in space. The extraterrestrial who created humanity in the laboratory discovered that the infinity large and the infinity small are equal.
Do not be obeyed any order whatsoever and regardless of the person who issued the order, if the order is contrary to your conscience. Maitreya Royal.
Absolute respect for life, even if any power made us believe that by extension is single man we could save all humanity. We should not kill this man because the life of one non-violent man is valuable, a die is a man making.
And this is all for the sect of Raelians. Thank you very much.